Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today DICE released some information about the Aftermath DLC. There's a lot of stuff here from the new game mode, the new crossbow weapon, the new maps, all that good stuff, so I'm going to kind of just dig on in here and we'll get started. So the first thing that I found to be very interesting about the upcoming DLC is that DICE is going to be adding a new game mode called Scavenger, and Scavenger seems to be very unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in the Battlefield franchise, but I guess it's kind of similar to Conquest with a pretty huge twist. So the main objective for your team is to try to capture the objectives on the battlefield so that you bleed the enemy tickets to zero, and then you are victorious. The twist behind it is that because a large earthquake just hit, resources are very scarce, so you're only going to start off with a pistol and a knife. And the other twist behind it is that there are better weapons out there scattered around the battlefield that you can pick up and scavenge, hence the title Scavenger. So they're in different tiers. The first tier, I believe, is personal defense weapons. The second tier is going to be shotguns and sniper rifles, and the third tier is LMGs and assault rifles. I'm assuming they're going to be more plentiful the lower down in the tier you are, so there's going to be less assault rifles and more personal defense weapons. I don't have confirmation behind that, but that's just kind of what I would assume from a tiered system. But don't think that once you actually obtain one of these assault rifles or one of the higher tiered weapons that all of a sudden you're just going to just destroy everyone on the battlefield. Because an earthquake just hit, resources are very scarce, and that includes the ammunition for all of your weapons. So once you actually do get an assault rifle, you're probably only going to have a couple of magazines at your disposal, and once you run out, you're going to have to go running around trying to find other weapons on the battlefield. So it sounds like it's going to be a mix of, first of all, capturing the objective so that you're winning the game, but also finding weapons so that you can take these objectives easier, and overall just trying to scavenge more ammunition. It sounds like a very interesting game mode. I'm interested to see how it plays out in the different dynamics that ensue, but it sounds like people are really going to have to know the map layout and know where these weapon spawns. Apparently weapons are going to spawn kind of randomly, but the higher tier ones are probably going to be in key locations that everyone's going to know, and everyone's going to be fighting over those particular weapons. So it sounds like a lot of fun. DICE has also revealed their new weapon, and that weapon is the Crossbow. I realize apparently there's already some outrage and some mixed feelings about this reveal. On the one hand, people are really excited about having a new weapon in their arsenal, just a different way that they can kill their enemies, and on the other side, you have people that are claiming that the Crossbow all of a sudden makes Battlefield the Call of Duty franchise. I think it's kind of a weak argument, and really, I think it suits, and DICE has also said it suits the theme that they're going for. Because a large earthquake just hit these cities, resources are scarce, the soldiers are basically making these makeshift crossbows to take out their targets. And I'll leave a link down below in the description so you guys can check out the article itself, but there's also some pictures in here where you can definitely see that the crossbow is basically built on top of an old weapon. There's duct tape all around it, and it definitely looks like a makeshift weapon, and it definitely fits with their theme that they're going for. So I think it's pretty cool. Apparently, you can also use it for all of the different classes, and it's going to take up your equipment slots, and there's also going to be 4 different ammo types for it. So you're going to have the standard tip, which is going to be a mid-range, mid-damage, the scan bolt tip, which is going to be a proximity detector, the high explosives bolt tip, which is good for vehicles, and the balance bolt tip, which is going to be good for long range. And honestly, after hearing that there's going to be these 4 different ammo types, and the fact that you can use this on any class, and you can use it on any map, so if you want to play it on the vanilla maps or the Strike at Karkin maps, like on Caspian Border or Gulf of Oman, you can play it on that. I think it's really going to change the dynamic of the game, because it does. You can still have your primary and your secondary and the crossbow all out at once. If you're playing as an assault player, you can have the crossbow with the scan bolt tip and effectively turn yourself into a recon like you could in Battlefield Bad Company 2 with the motion balls. Not only that, if you were playing as a support player and who normally isn't very good at taking out long-range targets, you can switch to your crossbow. If you have the balance bolt tip, now you can snipe people from across the map. So I'll be very interested to see how the crossbow changes the dynamic of Battlefield, and hopefully it's for the better. Hopefully it just gives us more ways to approach different situations, but I hope it doesn't just completely change the way we play the game, and it's for the better. As for the maps themselves, DICE really hasn't shown us a lot of pictures of the map layout by any means, but they have said that because an earthquake happened, there's going to be aftershock and there's going to be tremors. So every once in a while, randomly apparently, there are going to be tremors that are going to shake your screen around. I'm not completely sure if I'm sold on this idea. I guess because everyone's going to be affected by it, apparently you're not going to be able to line up your shot, and you're basically going to just want to like duck for cover, make sure that nothing's going to fall down around you, because when the tremors do happen, loose rubble will fall on your head and kill you potentially. But it sounds like an interesting idea to make it feel like you're more involved in the map and make it feel more alive. But as just kind of from a gameplay perspective, when I'm playing a game, I don't really like things that screw up with my accuracy, and a tremor is definitely going to do that. It's going to shake your screen around. So while it's cool, I guess I'll just have to wait and see if it's implemented well, and hopefully it's just not a huge nuisance. Another thing that I am very excited to see implemented in the game, and something that I thought should have been in the game from the very beginning, is that there are going to be some destructible rubble or some destructible walls that will reveal secret passageways. And honestly, I thought this should have been in the game from the very beginning, considering that I really think that the Frostbite 2 engine really just lended itself to that type of map making. I mean, the Frostbite 2 engine, one of the main selling points behind it, and one of the main selling points of Battlefield 3 is the destructibility, and I just would have assumed that they would have tried to incorporate that more into their map design. I thought they were going to do it in the closed quarter DLCs, but clearly that wasn't the case, but I'm glad to see that they're finally doing it for the Aftermath DLC. I think it's awesome just to have the capability of changing the routes that you can take, or just having more routes and avenues at your disposal is awesome. And apparently there's going to be a couple of oil tankers that you can blow up to reveal these passageways, but hopefully that's not for every single one of them, because I would really like people to have to choose if I'm going to play as a support class or an engineer to reveal these passageways to take full advantage of them. And hopefully the assault players, because they have the best weapons in the game, they're not going to be able to take advantage of them as much, or they're at least not going to be able to initiate the advantage that these passageways are going to have. I think it's going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's also going to be some new vehicles added into the game. We really haven't seen any pictures of them so far, but from what I've heard, they are basically civilian vehicles that have been patched by the soldiers and created into kind of armored civilian vehicles with mounted turrets on top of them. Once again, with the theme of there not being a lot of resources, an earthquake just happening, and there probably a lot of the vehicles were destroyed during the earthquake, the soldiers had to do what they could and armor up these vehicles to make them battle ready. I'm interested to see some pictures of them and how they perform, but they should be a lot of fun, and they should definitely fit the urban combat. DICE is also adding some new character models because the earthquake just happened. The soldiers are going to look a lot more war-torn. They're going to look a little bit more bloody. They're going to have scrapes on them. Their clothes are going to be a little bit more shredded up, and they're going to look like they just went through hell. They're going to look like a giant earthquake just happened around them, and they are the survivors. There's also apparently going to be some new achievements for everyone out there that likes achievements. That is also going to be in this DLC. But overall, I'm excited by this news. I can't wait for more information to be released and to see more of the maps are going to be available. But that's all I really had for today's video. But I would love to hear what you guys think about this information. Are you liking the direction that this DLC is taking? Do you like the information that has been released? Let me know in the comments section below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video or just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it when you give my videos a rating. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.